Civil society groups advocating for cannabis are calling for change in policy to enable small-scale dagga users to improve their livelihoods from trade of the plant. The annual Cannabis Global March took place today. The cannabis activists attended the annual march and demonstrated in the streets of Cape Town, demanding greater reforms around cannabis legislation. Our reporter Atule Joka and video journalist Clinton Cerf reports.
Cannabis, hemp, dagga or ganja. There are many names that are used to refer to cannabis, as well as its use is as diverse as its names. It can be used for construction, it can be used for manufacturing, it can be used for medicinal purposes, it can also be used for recreational purposes. Some cannabis activists around Cape Town took to the streets today to say they want inclusivity in the policy making of the bill, and as well as economic benefits of this particular plant. But I will speak to one of the activists who's been fighting this fight for over 20 years, Mr. Gareth Greens. So just talk to us about today's march. What are you calling for? And also you are talking about inclusivity in the policy making and also in economic benefits. Talk to us if you can elaborate on that point for us.
You know, the ganja community of South Africa, we really thought that with the creation of the new ganja laws, that we will demonstrate to the world how we can develop a law that would be respectful and inclusive of the previously down-pressed community. But unfortunately, we've seen very little public participation when it came to the construction of the new laws, and we haven't seen the inclusivity and the recognition of the dagga community in the making of these new laws. Whereas public participation in the creation of new laws is very important and the very essence of our society, but that was not respected in drawing up the bill. So we, the ganja people, is not represented or respected in this new bill. And this march is to draw attention to that fact and to plead to our government to work with the cannabis community, because the broader South African society require this plant for industrial purposes, for economic development. Let us use what we have to get what we want.
In this bill, what is it that you are objecting? What does it address, and also what are some of your objections in it?
We want the ganja bill to be holistic and representative of the interests of the dagga community. We don't want an artificial distinction between dagga and hemp, making the one seems more important than the other. These are two sides of the same coin, and they must be respected. Dagga must not be downpressed and hemp uplifted, because what we have in South Africa is dagga. That is our plant, our local land race. Hemp must be imported into South Africa, which costs money, which is a barrier of entry for our people. We don't necessarily want that. And we don't want the bill to focus on that. We want equality between dagga and hemp. And we want government to respect the fact that the dagga community is here to stay. And they must respect, protect and promote us.
And if they do that, what would it mean for South Africa and also subsistence farmers and small scale?
Development and progression, economic strength. That's what it means for our people. Ganja is the tree of life, and it influences every aspect of our life. Housing, food, clothes, shelter, medicine. All of these are industries that can be the backbone, of which ganja can be the backbone. And we want our ganja to embrace dagga as the basis of industrial development for South Africa, and to insist upon foreign strains that has to be imported into South Africa at great cost does not serve the interests of South African people. It serves the interests of the 1%. And we want our government to work with the majority of the people and to work with dagga, not necessarily to work with him.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Gareth was also a cannabis expert, just talking to us about what they are calling for in this march. They want inclusivity in the policy making of dagga, and also to make sure that subsistence and small scale farmers do benefit in this policy making, and also in the production of dagga as well. He says, of course, it can be used for medicinal purposes. They can supply pharmaceutical companies. They don't want to only use it for personal and private use. They want to be involved in the broader scheme of things.